holy training, and metagene research. Phew! A lot going on tonight.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
Blacklightning, Episode 3, Lawanda, the Book of Burial. Alright, so we're continuing right where we left off last week. It's still a going strong series, and you know what? They're still making it feel like it's taking place in the real world, even though at the same time, they have all these superhuman complications. Everything that happens feels like the world itself is a breathing, real thing. And I really appreciate that. I can even sit there and say that the preachiness isn't as strong as some people were afraid it was going to be, myself included. No, instead we have a good series here that I'm really enjoying. One that can mix realistic ritual combat with a handful of problems on the street. But tonight ramps up the family dynamic in a way that I really like. I really enjoy the concept of the family of superheroes, or even just the family around the superhero. It's one of those things that really attracts me to the storytelling genre. But okay, for those of you that don't know, what I do is I take apart stories and put them back together and try and figure out what makes them tick. Or as I say, get to the heart of them. I do reviews as stories come up, and Throwback Thursdays for older ones, and theory videos every Sunday. If that sounds interesting? Click the subscribe button, because right now what we're talking about is a highly liberal, highly pro-liberal TV show that has a huge comic book slant based on the famous DC character Blacklightning, and it is badassly awesome. We're getting started now, though.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na.
So both Blacklightning and Thunder have parts of the episode where they're training. Thunder's, of course, is the more badass. But I think I'm going to start with her seeing that Outsider comic, which for the record is Blacklightning's team. Well, it's Batman's team, but Blacklightning's on it. But for a while, both Thunder and Grace, you'll recognize that name, were members of the team too. In the comics, Grace was an Amazon, right up there with Wonder Woman for super strength and capability. Her and Thunder were not just a power couple, but a couple that were capable of fighting just about anyone together. I'm curious to see where they're going with this in the TV show, but at least we're going to see Thunder very shortly break out. But okay, let's backtrack to Blacklightning's training for a second, though. I liked the whole setup where there was like a shooting gallery with a video screen slash projector there. I love pretty much all the setup with him and the tailor. They're really cool. I like the idea that his powers are hard to control and the suit helps him tap into it and helps him direct it. And I love the fact that everything about this was thought through at least somewhat. Just the idea of the transistor and the dialing up and down, both the size of the beam and the wattage and voltage. Electricity is pretty deadly. And the fact is that he doesn't want to kill if he doesn't have to. However, Lawanda is who we're really talking about tonight still. Her death opened the door for yet more people to be looking at Blacklightning as a savior, instead of the principal. And at moments like this, he doesn't know what to do. Now, in this case, we have a pastor who wants to organize a walk, not protesting police violence, not protesting the government, but protesting the gangs. That is dangerous, because as bad as it is when you speak out against people in power that are official, at least they normally at least try to hide behind civility. The gangs have no such reason. So, they send a gunman. And Blacklightning's there, looking up at top like a sniper, trying to figure out what to do. One of the scariest and most realistic moments so far was definitely the moment when they said, if you poison Tylenol, people stop taking Tylenol, because they did. If you want to stop people from protesting, make protesting deadly. And that's unfortunately a very common tactic. That's where the word terrorist comes from. And that's what this gang is. Terrorists. They're trying their best to play on the terror of those around them to make them do what they want. Blacklightning gets to jump down and be the hero. Not only does he zap the bad guy, but he shows off a power we haven't yet seen on the show. He makes an electric shield, and it was pretty cool. Semi-automatic weapon fire, ba-da-da-da-da-da, just nothing. Electromagnetics, just a force field that protects the innocent. Of course, then he had to use that pinpoint precision because the other kid behind him had the gun too. And for a moment, you feel like it's all safe. And then the big guy rolls out. A little bit of, I'm not quite sure about how the dialogue is written for him, but at the end of the day, he orders the hit, and the chick next to him pulls out a sniper rifle, is what I'm going to call it. I don't know, I'm not a gun guy, but I'm going to call it a sniper rifle, and shoots the Reverend. Now, when they said kill the electrified guy, I really thought they were shooting for Blacklightning, and I thought that they were going to miss, or that it was going to ricochet or something. But the idea of hitting the pasture is much more terrifying, and much more direct. Don't mess with me. Don't organize. You're just a normal person. You're easy to target. And they did. It was really kind of a downer, really, but a realistic one. One where I'm afraid this is what happens. But unfortunately, even a good man can only stop so much. And the bullet hits the Reverend, but he's going to be fine. But then it also hits the star athlete, the boyfriend of one of his daughters. And it hits him pretty much dead on. And with that, we have the real problem, the innocent bystander. And he might never walk again. Heavy, I know. But I also want to ask what Gimby is doing. Why delete the footage? Why not tell Blacklightning who's responsible? What's going on? I don't fully get what's going on yet with that. In fact, there's a lot of questions still up in the air. But like I said, this was a really, really heavy episode. So I want to take a quick turn onto the lighter note for the end here. Alright, let's talk about some family dynamics. Let's talk about how awesome and how scary it would be to grow up in a house where you could come to your parents and say anything you wanted, and they would listen to you. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of things I don't talk about with my parents, and I am significantly older than a teenager. Significantly. In fact, I just realized that I'm actually old enough that it's been as many years since I graduated high school as it is before I graduated high school. So, there we go. And I wouldn't talk to my parents about my sex life that openly and honestly. At least not that easily. And I want to just relate the fact that they handled it probably pretty decently. I mean, what do you say when your teenage daughter who's not quite ready for college? Yeah, I'm ready for sex. Don't worry, I'll be home by curfew. No. Definitely no. But the parents even ask, are we being too liberal? And then we get the great moment where they say, remember when you came out as a lesbian? I mean, these are things that you have to support your kids at the same time as these are scary things. But I just want to relate that I think that the way that he, as Mr. Pierce, handled it was way better. We could all probably tell stories about the awkwardness of dealing with the talk with our parents. And that's even without being able to say, yeah, and I told him when I was going to lose my V card. So, I'm not even going to go there. I want to talk about the talking to the boyfriend. Because I have seen quite a lot of what I call shotgun talks. And I have to say, getting one from Blacklightning is pretty good. On the other hand, he didn't actually have a shotgun, at least for the conversation. He just made sure and point out, hey, that's my daughter. And, I want to be extra careful. I had a friend that, when I was in college, actually had someone show him his shotgun collection and explain that those things over there are as important to me as my kids. I don't know what I'd do if someone messed with those. I don't even know what I would do if someone gave me a talk like that. I think I'd poop my pants. But being able to deal with a wife and children is a different way of looking at superheroes. And I really appreciate this look into a very different type of superhero. And I can't wait to see what happens when his little girl starts dressing up and doing this thunder. As much as her being dressed like I'm gonna guess Catwoman, I'm gonna just go with the fact that this suit is going to be badass, and I can't wait till the fact that that's gonna have to be a fitting, right? I mean, that's gotta be Gambi's work. And let's not forget, they've already been super cool with, hey, I'm a lesbian, and hey, I'm a teenager who's about to go have sex. What's the conversation gonna be like? Hey, I'm invulnerable, and I'm gonna go start picking fights with supervillains. But I can't wait until they bring the thunder. But there's one other thing that makes me think about this. We know that CW said originally this was going to be a different Earth from Flash and Supergirl. We know that the news report did say that there are other superheroes because remember, they said, how come other people with powers get to call themselves superheroes? We get a vigilante. But now we have the Outsider comic. So I wonder who is in this world and who isn't. If you want to take a guess, leave it down in the comment section below. And maybe next week before we talk about the episode, I'll address your thoughts on that. I have a couple ideas of who I would want it to be, but it probably won't happen. But for now, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the thumbs up button and of course share the video so that others can find it as well. I'd love to talk about all the nuances of this show. And of course, click subscribe if you haven't already. I'm up to 90 subscribers as of the recording of this, and when I hit 100, I'm going to give away an Amazon gift card to one lucky viewer in a special video. I also just want you to join because, well, it's fun to have someone to talk to and relate to these things and figure out why it is we enjoy this type of story. For now, I think we can all agree we're enjoying Blacklightning because it's amazing! But for now, I hope you have a good night, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.